Are hand creams as bad as eye creams? If you're new here, you're probably very confused, but if you've been here for a second, you know this debacle, you know this debate. The overpriced moisturizers are these basic formulas that are good for skin, but that companies and marketers package in tinier tubes or with different aesthetics just so that they can sell us on them more. We've spoken ad nauseum about this when it comes to eye creams. You can help yourself to that here if you haven't seen it yet. But I was speaking with some of our beautiful butterflies on Discord, and we started having this conversation about hand creams. Is the hand cream industry as cunning and hungry for our money as their cousins, the eye creams, are? When you think of a hand cream, you think of a thick balm, something that we want to hydrate and nourish dry skin, but that doesn't leave us greasy or slimy, because if we're touching door handles or phones and things, we don't want to be leaving a trail behind us like a slug, you know? But at the same time, what comes in a larger package with similar skin-loving ingredients that hydrates skin but doesn't leave a greasy, sticky feeling behind, maybe on clothing and chairs? Oh, that's right. Body creams. We were having this discussion when I decided to look into some of the hand creams and say, hand creams and body creams. Anatomically on the body, there are differences. And before we break down what I found and the conclusion that we have hereby come to, let's actually speak about those anatomical differences. You see, you know that our skin has multiple layers. We have the epidermis, then we have the dermis, then we have layers of adipose tissue, muscle, bone, etc. This is the same all over our entire bodies. Again, whether it's the eyes, whether it's the cheeks, or whether it's those cheeks, you have layers, you have pores, your skin secretes oil through glands. Skin in different areas can be thinner or thicker, but anatomically it is almost identical. Now, the differences are the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet, and mucous membranes, such as inside of our mouths. Let's do a little visual experiment with ourselves, shall we? A little anatomy lesson. Look closely at your arm. Look closely at your other arm, maybe your leg, maybe look at your face up close in the mirror, even your chest. We have pores protruding hairs out of every single square inch of our bodies, even inside of our ears. There's no difference, and these are a very important structural distinction of what makes skin. But now look closely at the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. These are the only areas, other than the mucous membranes on your body, that we don't have those pores. Now, why is that? Instead of having pores, we still have sudoriferous glands, the ones that secrete sweat, but we also have an extra layer here. It's called the stratum lucidum. Lucidium, think of lucid or light, or something that is see-through. It's a very thin layer, but that stratum lucidum is what differentiates the skin here and on our feet versus everywhere else. When it comes to hand creams, you would think that hand creams would take this into account, right? And have something special or different that they do for our bodies versus the dryness we get on our arms or our elbows or our knees. And specifically, when it comes to how we use our hands, we obviously use them much more. If you work with patients or clients or with food, you have to wash your hands a lot, sometimes up to 50 to 100 times a day, between patients, between activities, if you're cleansing things. And do you know how bad it can make your hands? That is the reason that I only use stick-on nails. Literally, cuticles cracking, ingrowns, fissures, bloody hands, even blisters, you name it. And we've all been in the middle of a pandemic, a panorama, a panini for the past year and a half. And yes, lots of people have been waking up to personal hygiene and washing their hands more or sanitizing and struggling because of that. Interestingly, both the search volume for hand creams as well as the sales of hand creams has gone way up, along with the sanitation that the pandemic has caused us all to do a little bit more of. And isn't it interesting that marketers and companies are paying attention to this, seeing that people are buying it, and wanting to rake in a bit of that cash for themselves? Now, let's also speak about body lotion, because we often see body lotion or body balms peak in the winter. That's when a lot of people struggle with dry skin and need stuff. And although we see that trend every year, we didn't see it go up the same way hand creams did with the middle of the pandemic. So the sale of body creams, maybe it's gift giving, maybe it's the dry weather, but it seems to be more seasonal versus societal, the way these hand creams are. Now, as a user of hand creams myself, and someone who has both interest and experience in cosmetic formulation and understanding these things, taking care of my own hands and the skin of others, you start to think to yourself, well, what are some of the beneficial ingredients that we see in hand creams or body creams? Humectants, moisturizers, occlusives, right? Those things that go on our skin, on our hands, or on our bodies that do absorb nicely, leave the skin supple and protected, but don't leave a greasy film behind, to stick on door or car handles, or to just stick to our clothing. You know how annoying that would be. And that is why when you turn and learn those ingredients, you'll see that many of them are extraordinarily similar, almost identical in some cases. And just like eye creams being overpriced moisturizer, we're seeing some of the exact same formulas packaged into tinier little tubes and sold at a higher price. There are exceptions. Again, there are some hand creams that I love, but as I was speaking about this with our beautiful butterfly community, I thought to myself, let's just pull up Ulta, see what we can find. When you search hand cream on Ulta, you get a nice array. You get some luxury things, we're getting some holiday stuff for the season, and we get the Neutrogena Hydro Boost, a loved one that I don't personally use, but okay, fair game. $6.99, not ridiculously expensive, right? The Hydro Boost hand cream has some decent ingredients, such as water, glycerin, isopropyl palmitate, cetyl alcohol, dimethicone, petrolatum, phenoxyethanol, etc. These are a lot of different things, and I want to help break down what they are and how they do. All very fine things for a hand cream, I must say. The glycerin and sodium hyaluronate are humectants, meaning they hold on to the water that's in here. This actually draws moisture into the skin. Then we have more occlusive things, such as this petrolatum, such as dimethicone, such as sodium polyacrylate. This coats the skin quite nicely, but prevents this moisture from evaporating or from leaving. We also have thickeners, viscosity enhancers, and even some fragrance and blue number 1 so that it looks and feels good. For $6.99, that's not that bad. That's not that expensive, right? 3 fluid ounces. Okay. But wait a second. Doesn't Neutrogena also have a Hydro Boost body cream? I know the entire Hydro Boost line has like sodium hyaluronate, aka hyaluronic acid, but they must be different, right? The Hydro Boost Body Gel Cream is only $11.49 for 16 fluid ounces. You're getting substantially more. There must be something different in them. There must be a reason to purchase one versus the other, right? Well, let's actually look at that Hydro Boost Body Gel Cream, why don't we? When we scroll down beyond the marketing and into the ingredients lists, what do we see? Water, glycerin, isopropyl palmitate, petrolatum, dimethicone, cetyl alcohol, phenoxyethanol. Hold up! Aren't these some of the exact same ingredients? Why, yes. And not only are they some of the exact same ingredients, they are almost identical. The difference is that the body cream doesn't have the fragrance or the blue number 1, which, for dry, cracked skin on the hands, arguably you wouldn't want fragrance. You wouldn't want blue number 1 getting into any fissures. Why is that even in the formula? Oh, just to make it smell good, look nice, so you'll spend more. And when you actually look at the ingredients side by side and the cost, there is a substantial difference here. 16 ounces for what is this, $11.49? When you break that down, like what is that? Math. 75 cents an ounce? Somebody math me, okay? Thank you. And for the $6.99 one with 3 fluid ounces, well, what is that? Like $2.50? $2.30? Math? Come back? $2.33, of course it is, because it's $6.99. So when you look at both of these, one of them comes in a bigger container with a different label. One of them comes in a smaller container. One of them costs $2.33 per ounce, whereas the other one costs 72 cents per ounce. Why would you spend $2.33 per ounce when you could spend 72? They are basically the exact same thing, but this body cream is just being repackaged, add a little bit of fragrance in there, put it in a tinier little tube, and sell it for literally 3 times the price. Literally more than 3 times the price. What on earth is happening? Marketing magic right beneath our eyes. Yes, just the way many companies take their lovely moisturizers and package them in tubes, calling them eye creams and convincing us that we have to put them here instead of using moisturizers here or vice versa, many companies are doing the same with body lotions and hand creams, which arguably you could create a very different formula for the hands for that stratum lucidum. You could put a lot of research and development into this and make something different and great, because the skin anatomically is different here versus the skin here versus here. It's almost exactly the same, just a little bit thinner, right? You still have sebaceous glands. Don't listen to the stupid beauty publications and Dr. Google. Dr. Google didn't go to med school. But a lot of companies aren't doing that hard work. They are repackaging things and selling them to us. Now, are there exceptions? Just like in the world of eye creams and moisturizers, yes, absolutely. There are some very few exceptions and some that are really good. For me, there is a Jane Iredale hand cream. It has an SPF 15. I use that in my car I love it. There's this one from Fenty Skin. This is actually relatively good. It's a hand mask. I have been liking it. But in general, should we be paying 3 times the amount for a hand cream that has the exact same ingredients as a body moisturizer that is in a larger container, more sustainable because of that larger volume, can be used more sustainably? Very interesting, isn't it? Yes, there are some body creams that I would way recommend over hand creams, and $6.99 versus $11.99, is that the biggest difference? No, I'll give it to frickin' not cruelty-free Neutrogena, not the biggest difference in the world. 11 bucks, not half bad. But what happens when La Mer tries to convince us to buy a hand cream and it costs $400 because it's Nivea plus seaweed? You know what? For shits and giggles, we are gonna look it up. La Mer, do you have a hand cream? I bet you they came out for one in the pandemic. Oh, not only do they have a hand cream, it is $95. Why? Emollient-rich hand cream soothes and softens hands. Oh, of course it does. Let's look at some of these ingredients, why don't we? And this is 3.4 fluid ounces. How about that? Wow, there's a lot in here, and I would not put this on damaged, dry hands. I see you, fragrance. We have declustered water. Motherfucking didn't know my water was clustered. I'm so sorry. More declustered water. We do have metafoam seed oil, caprylic triglyceride, cetyl alcohol, cetearyl alcohol, dimethicone glycerin, pentylene glycol. All of these are great. They do have some extra little things in here, like the sesame, the grapefruit, the barley, eucalyptus oil, which I wouldn't do, niacin, which we love, succinate, which we love. Decent ingredients, but is it worth $95? No. Let's see if they have a body cream. I am curious now. I need to look at this. Ooh, they have a renewal body oil balm, a body lotion, or a body creme. I am going to look at the reparative, a body lotion for 160 frickin' doll hairs. And of course, we have some more declustered water. No surprise there. We do have some glycerin, hydrogenated polyisobutane. We have dimethicone, cetearyl alcohol, cetyl isonanate. We still have the eucalyptus in here. We've still got the niacin and the succinate. These are not identical like the Neutrogena, but these are damn close. And when you look at the cost, $160 for 5.4 fluid ounces versus the $90 for 3.5, 27 bucks a fluid ounce. You've got to be f***ing shitting me. These ingredients do not merit this price, but the one good thing that I will give to La Mer is that their pricing is pretty consistent. The hand cream is about $27 per fluid ounce, whereas this reparative body lotion is $29 approximately. That is ridiculous, $29 per fluid ounce. Why are you charging this kind of money for these dead seaweed products? Like, do they have to charge that much to afford the psychic mediums that they had to hire, like with a Ouija board to talk to the scientist guy who's dead? Because if you didn't know that that happened, that absolutely happened. Oh, we have an entire video on it. The La Mer story is deep. At least they aren't charging you 3 times the price the way Neutrogena is. But I'm sorry, who is paying $95 for a hand cream? I rest my case. It is these kinds of things that marketers like to pull over our eyes that I think we as consumers deserve to know, deserve to speak about. And especially for us skintellectuals, we deserve to dig into these things and understand where our money is going. Let's be critics, let's be skeptics, let's dive into them together so that we can make purchases that actually enhance our lives, not just, oh, I bought this thing because my hands were dry and I overpaid for it and it's really not that great, but I mean, I put it on. Hope the fragrance isn't giving me contact dermatitis. What do you think? And is there any body cream that you have used as a hand lotion, or is there a hand moisturizer that you've used on your dry bits, on your itchy area? Is that the right word? I thought that bits meant like armpits and like knees. It was also on the Discord that I found out that might not be true. Is this what you use on your dry parts? You tell me, and always remember to stay hydrated both orally and topically. Reapply that SPF, and yes, even SPF in your hand creams. Hi, Jane Iredale, who is still in my car. Thank you very much. And always be a critic, a skeptic, and be beautiful both inside and out. I love you, and I cannot wait to see you in the comments of this one. Love you guys. Bye.